Hi everyone, my name's Rosanne Cracraft and I'm following God out of Christianity. Well, when I decided finally to leave Christianity in February, it was on a weekend, and I decided that I would need a support system because it was a very scary thing to do, especially after you had been Christian most of your life. So on Monday morning, I think it was around February 16th, I decided to search Facebook. And I just searched in support groups for people leaving Christianity. And your group came up immediately. And I just sent in a join request. And you got back with me within a few minutes. And it was really great because I saw that I felt like I was like the only one who was feeling the way I was feeling. And then once I joined the group, I saw that there was quite a lot of people who felt the same way I did, and that really helped to alleviate a lot of my fears and apprehension. And I've met a lot of nice people through the group and who have become really close friends of mine, so it's been a really good experience. I was raised in an old-fashioned Italian Catholic family, so of course there was a lot of cultural Catholicism in my home. And from a young age, I always had a strong relationship with God. From the time I was a teenager, I was always interested in world religions. And of course, I was Catholic, but I left the Catholic Church as a teenager because I married a Baptist boy, so I became Baptist. And I guess the more I studied scriptures, the more I saw that maybe Jesus wasn't the Messiah. And this was like 30, 40 years ago, but I just kind of thought, it was just me reading the scriptures wrong. Because being raised Catholic, I was always told that you can't interpret the scriptures for yourself. So I just kept thinking, it was just the way I was understanding scriptures. And I guess life took over. I was very busy. I raised a large family, so I just didn't have a lot of time to really research. And really about 4 years ago, I made the decision that there's no way that Jesus could have been the Messiah, even though probably he was a good teacher and a rabbi. There's no way he fulfilled prophecy to be the Messiah. And it was a scary thought because, I figured, maybe I was looking at it wrong. Because I said, how could 2 billion people be wrong? But like I said, the more I studied and the more I decided that Christianity was very erroneous teaching. So I made the decision to leave, and it took about 3 or 4 years to finally get the courage to make a clean break, and that's what I did in February. I ended up leaving the Catholic Church about 3 times because I didn't believe there's a lot of idolatry in Catholicism, especially like with the worship of Mary and the saints. And I just never felt that was right. Even when I was practicing Catholic, I never felt attached to the saints or to Mary. So I kept leaving the Catholic Church. And actually, I've been about 12 different denominations: Baptist, Lutheran, Methodist, Assemblies of God. And then later on, when I started exploring the idea that Jesus wasn't divine, and I figured that out about 8 years ago, and I broke away from the mainstream Protestant denominations, and I joined like the groups that the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses, who teach that Jesus wasn't the Son of God, just more or less a teacher. So I got mixed up with a couple of cults. Luckily, I got out in time, but I really feel comfortable in knowing that I really did research a lot of different denominations. And like I said, over the last 38 years, I've been about 12 different denominations. And I guess why I broke away from the Catholic Church completely was when I went through my second divorce. And they pretty much banished me from the fold. And I thought, well, it just wasn't very Christian-like. And there was, a lot of hurt feelings because I just felt really alienated. So I hate to say I didn't have good luck, but I've had I've had kind of like a turbulent life. So my marriages were not good. Caused me a lot of grief and heartache, and I really needed the comfort of a priest hearing my confession. And he asked me if I had an annulment, and I said no. And he says, well, come back to me after you've had an annulment. And they really treated me like a sinner. And I thought, well, gee, I don't think if Jesus was sitting here in this room, he would have turned me away like the priest did. So I thought, how can this religion be anywhere near the truth if what they practice is so different from what Jesus actually supposedly preached? And actually, the more I study the life of Jesus, I've even come to think that perhaps maybe he didn't even exist. Oh, that's a whole new interview. But I have two ways of looking at it now. Either he didn't exist, or he existed, and he was his followers just made him out to be something he never claimed to be. So, the verse that kept grabbing me was, "I know that the Messiah will bring world peace." And the verse that kept grabbing me was when Jesus said, "I came not to bring peace but a sword." And that always baffled me from the time I was 15. And you see how much strife and division Christianity causes, especially in my own personal life. When I was Catholic and I converted to the Baptist religion, all my Catholic relatives were telling me that the Baptists wouldn't go to heaven, and vice versa. My Baptist relatives, after I got married, all my in-laws were saying that my Catholic relatives would burn in hell. So there was so much disagreement as to who would even go to heaven. And it's like that. There's so many different splinter groups within Christianity. No one can seem to agree who's saved. And I thought to myself, if Jesus is the Messiah, surely there'd be like a general consensus, an overall agreement about who's going to heaven. And there's so much finger pointing, and you're not saved, you're not saved. And I thought, this is just nonsense. It's turmoil, and the Messiah won't bring turmoil. He'll bring peace of mind and world peace and unity and love. Well, actually, I've been studying Judaism since about 1978. So, I know a fair bit about it, but I'm learning a lot more in depth since I began my conversion. And I can honestly say that what I've learned about it is that the Jews don't necessarily think that their way is the only way. And they don't do the finger pointing that the Christians do. And I find that really refreshing. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I feel so much at peace about my decision. Because, when I was Christian, I always had turmoil in my heart. When I was Catholic, I felt that I shouldn't be Catholic. When I was a Protestant, I felt that I shouldn't be a Protestant. And, I read my Bible every day. I went to church 2 or 3 times a week when I was raising my kids, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. And, I did learn a lot of coping skills through the Christian church. Like, as I said, I've been through, a few things in my life, and my faith in God has been an anchor for me. And, I won't say anything bad about the Christian church, because they pulled me through a lot of dark days. But I no longer felt that Jesus was the Son of God, so I know I just had to get out while I still have time. I'm getting, to the point in life where I just want what I feel is the truth. Well, as I said, I started my conversion in March, and I'm real happy with it. They were very warm and welcoming to me when I contacted a local rabbi about 3 months ago and explained my situation, and he says, well, come on in, let's talk. And they were very open and understanding, and I've been going to lessons about every 3 or 4 weeks, and I go to shul on Friday night, and I'm learning a lot, and the people just kind of welcome me and embrace me, and I wasn't expecting that, because I always heard from a Christian perspective that the Jewish people were very standoffish and clannish and cold and would hold you at arm's length, and that hasn't been my experience at all. They've been very friendly and understanding. So I would say probably within a year's time, I will, my conversion will be complete. I would say I think a lot of people, there's a lot of wonderful people in Christianity who are really sincere and dedicated, but I think a lot of them suffer needlessly, because a lot of them do feel like I feel like they're tormented, because they just feel, like they want to leave, but they feel trapped. And I just feel like a religion should bring you peace and comfort. It shouldn't bring you anguish. And I just want, if there's anyone out there who's thinking about, leaving Christianity, just, do your research and pray about it. And God will, he'll lead the way. It's a scary thing, but you can do it. And there's a lot of supportive people. And so, I just wanted to encourage anyone to just do your research and read scriptures and pray about it.